Okay, so let's go ahead and just add that animated feedback now. Now, a couple things though, let me jump back here, right? So when you select the incorrect choice, as soon as I click it, it's going to bring in a try again, and then I can keep going until I get the correct answer, all right? So I have to do a couple things real quick, one of which is we want to change the number of attempts. So if I go back up here to the top right and select Edit Multiple Choice, I think by default we had it set to 1, so we actually want to change it to unlimited. Now what that's also going to do is give us an extra slide layer called Try Again, and everything else is fine. Right now we're set to shuffle. I don't think the example shuffled them, but that doesn't matter whether you select that or not. Save and close, and there's our Try Again. So it's really the Try Again that we're going to use, that we're never really going to get to the incorrect because we have unlimited number of attempts. So what I want to do now is modify this feedback layer. This is actually a separate slide layer, slide master layer that's generating this little box with the incorrect and then the choice and the button. So we can do that by going to the top right and select Edit. So this really just lets us work in a slide master the same way we did when we modified the question slide, only this is the feedback master. So I'm not going to really mess with this. We may want to come back to this at some point and use that default setting. I'm just going to go ahead and create a new slide master. That's what I'll work from. But I don't want any of these objects, so I'm just going to select them and delete them. Gone. Now, when I hover over each of these slides, you'll see that we have a name, right? So that's the correct feedback, incorrect, and Try Again. Let's go ahead and modify this Try Again because that's really the one we want to work with. Select all that and delete it. And I'm just going to insert a shape. Now, I didn't really make an image like they had for that feedback, but we'll get close enough with just a big giant rectangle. We'll format it black, remove the outline, and I'm just going to type in my feedback. So if I just start typing, Try Again, select it, and let's just make it really big. Right, so that'll just slide in. Now the way I can animate this is I'll select it, and up here on the Animations tab, I want it to fly in this case all at once, just an object. I'll have it come in from the right, and I'll have it cut fast, and I'll have it fade out, fly out to the right, fast. So this animation, I want this, what controls the duration of how long it stays on the slide. So what I need to do is just shorten the duration of the slide maybe to just under a second. So it's going to come in and go out pretty quick, maybe a second. All right, so that's really it. Now let me jump back out and then we'll test it and see how it looks real quick. So that was my Try Again. I do need to reapply. I need to apply that new layout. So layout, and then down here I have the Try Again. And then I also have these objects which also get generated. So I'll just move them off the slide. I really could just delete them, but I'll just move them off for now. So preview. So I'll select the incorrect choice and submit. And there's my Try Again. Okay, so that's a little too fast, right? So what I would do is I'd come in here and I'd select Edit, and I'll just bring this out maybe to 2 seconds, close it, and try it again. All right, maybe even shorten it now, but that's a general idea right there. So that's how I can do and set up my feedback. So what I need to also now set up is the same thing, but for the correct choice. So let's go ahead and jump back into our slide master. I'll scroll down right here. I'll just select this graphic with the text, Control C, and I'll come up here. I can see the correct is right there. I can take all of that and delete. And I'm just going to paste, and I'll say, great job or something, right? Whatever you want to say. And let's go ahead and close out of this. So that's my correct feedback. So let me jump over here in the slide master, slide layer, and I'll right click and choose great job. Then I can turn all this stuff off right there. Now the only difference between the Try Again and the correct is that when I select the correct choice, it's actually going to come in, tell me great job, and now it's going to jump into the next slide. So what I need to do is make one trigger adjustment here and jump to the next slide, not when I click something, but when the timeline ends, and the timeline ends of this layer. And now it will automatically jump to the next slide. I don't have one here, but if I did, that's where it would go.